Exploration or exploitation? That's the question. This is nannuoshan. I'm Gabriele, and today I would like to discuss a topic with all of you. Actually, if I could, I would invite all of you here to drink this tea with me and discuss together what's the best inventory for a tea shop. Now, I may have an opinion about that, but at the end, you are the customer, I am the vendor, and the best inventory for me is the inventory you like. Unfortunately, you are not here with me drinking this very large leaf tea, uh, but I'm alone, so I can just speculate about your wishes, and maybe this is all what this video is about, is a big speculation. Anyway, there are two possible ways to run a shop or inventory, I would say. You can see it in different ways, but let's say that one option is that you just restock all over again the same products. So you know what products are good, those that are not good, they don't sell, you don't restock, those that are good, you restock, and you keep on like that. Take, for example, IKEA. They introduce new products, but those products that really run well, they just keep on manufacturing the same furniture and offering over and over again, year after year. That's an approach, that's a possibility. Another possibility is just to focus not on exploiting the products you have, but on exploring new ones. And this, I would say that nannuoshan is closer to these, maybe because I'm more of an explorer. I like to search different tea, try different tea. I like really to go out on the field in search, sourcing for tea. But it doesn't mean that it's actually the best solution, right? And there are maybe also some options in between. I have, for example, you might say that if you think about IKEA, they sell furniture, they don't sell an agricultural product like or food, and then Gabriele chose just a bad example for it. I understand that. Let's take the example of some friends of mine that are running a dates shop. They just sell dates, an agricultural product. They found a few suppliers in the Middle East that sell really, or actually produce really a different type of dates variety. And they keep on offering over and over again the same type of dates. So you don't really know what was the year of harvest, if it was the first, the second, the third batch. You go just on their shop, you want that type of date, and you buy it. And next time you go to the shop, you find it again. That's a type of exploitation applied to the food industry. Now, if we take nannuoshan, I would say that the vast majority of our teas are actually new, right? And in which cases nannuoshan does exploitation, repetition, restocking? Well, there are situations where we do that. For example, let's take Longjing, the most famous Chinese green tea. It's always on stock at nannuoshan, but every year is a different harvest, right? Is a fresh tea. You cannot really offer exactly the same batch. So we update the description, we retaste the tea. But you know, if you are a Longjing lover, since the day the shop opened, you can come back to the nannuoshan shop and you will have a spring harvest Longjing from the last spring harvest. Depending on the farmer we choose, depending on how good the harvest was, you might have variation in the quality, but you will have that characteristic Longines taste. So this is a type of exploitation that we do with a bunch of tea. There might be like, I don't know, 5 to 10 to 20 teas, something like that. Not really more than that. Then there is another type of exploitation that is a little bit closer to the date example and to the IKEA example I was saying before. And it is when you restock exactly the same product. We have, for example, Cloud Mountain, a very popular black tea from Yunnan, a Gushu black tea in our shop. And we know the collector that has a lot of this tea, and every time we have the opportunity, we try to restock it. It sells really well, and it is exactly the same batch because the producer actually stopped producing this tea. You have only that year, always the same harvest, and you buy exactly the same product. Of course, it changes because tea is meant to age, and aging changes a little bit the taste, but not that much in black tea. This tea is another example of that. It is the Hani 2007, a beloved pu'er in the nannuoshan shop. I would say in the history of nannuoshan, probably ranked top 5 among the Sheng Pu'er that are most popular and sell best. Although it is a nearly 20 years old tea and it comes at a certain price, still sells very well. The collector in Hong Kong has a lot of this tea, and whenever I can, I resource it again. So this is an example of like the Cloud Mountain is like restocking exactly the same product. And now I want to discuss also what makes like a tea unique, like how I could predict in advance when I buy a tea that this would sell very well and maybe I buy more. Why is that needed? Why Gabriele cannot just buy it when it is sold out and then he bring it back again? Well, Hong Kong storage tea, the older it gets, the more expensive it gets. So the first time I bought this tea a few years back had a certain price, and now I'm really to fight with the vendor to just keep more or less the same price. And at a certain point, that price will increase, will go up to the sky, and I will have to adapt the price on the shop accordingly. So if I would have stocked a lot of this tea at the very beginning, would have been better for us, both of us actually, right? You would have got a better price, I would have sold easy this tea, and everyone is happy. Now, this tea, why it is famous and it is so beloved is a question that actually I would love to have you just here sitting next to me and discussing this so that you can share your thoughts. But is a tea that actually I source, that I like. I spoke also with other person in our team that liked it. I had a video even done with Simone about this very tea because it's one that he really enjoys. And I think the first aspect that makes a product really successful, yeah, and I'm not speaking about tea, maybe you are a vendor in another business and you are in your mind with this dilemma, what do I do? Exploration is a story, right? Sometimes you have to make up a story, right? Maybe it's just the story is how you got that tea, and this tea has a story that is related to the sourcing, but it's also a story that is related to the product itself. The fact that it was a person from the West, actually from the east of China, a doctor that got in contact with some local people, some Hani minority people in the Hani prefecture of Yunnan, just south of Kunming, and together they selected the leaves, discussed how to process the tea, and this is what came out of it. So there is a story behind that. On top of that, Hong Kong storage, and this might be also a reason why we would like to buy it just from time to time and not large quantities all in one, because this way we can get the tea almost every year and we can have always that Hong Kong storage until that very year. If I buy it back 5 years ago, then you have until then Hong Kong storage, and after that you have Austin storage for the US and Berlin storage for Europe. And nonetheless, there is certainly a story behind this, but also the appearance is important, the appearance of a product, right? So if you open this cake, you see how huge the leaves are, and that's very uncommon. When you think about large leaves, you usually think about associated with lower quality tea. And this is not the case here. You taste the tea and you are actually impressed. Look at these leaves, they are really huge, they are massive, right? This is, if I would unroll it without breaking it, would be probably 10 centimeter long, yeah? Or these leaves here is huge. And nonetheless, the tea is very mellow. There is no bitterness, no astringency, is woody, but it's not a dry wood, it's more of an aromatic wood, it's very complex. This is also thanks, of course, to the traditional Hong Kong storage that we discussed. But basically, beside the appearance of the tea, that is very peculiar, you have the taste. And I think this is what makes this tea really special and appreciated by the nannuoshan customers. Yes, there is a story. Yes, the appearance is very peculiar, but the taste is pretty impressive, actually. It's complex. There is some florality in it. There is a honey sweetness that is usually more associated, actually, I would say, with some dry storage, but here it's very clear. On top of that, there is one more aspect, actually, that makes a restock tea worth restocking. Try to guess it. I give you a couple of seconds to think one word. What makes also a product so special and worth restocking? We discussed the story. It has to have a nice story. We discussed the appearance, that has a nice appearance. We discussed the importance for food of the taste. What else? The price. The price is crucial, right? Like, first of all, the lower the price, the more affordable the tea, the easier, usually, not always, is to sell it. Moreover, here we have a tea that is 19 years ago, as I'm speaking, was stored in Hong Kong, which is already let's say, a marker also for a price, because storage price in Hong Kong is very pricey. On top of it, it has a story, right? And it comes for a relatively affordable price. Relatively, right? It's not cheap, but 20 years old Sheng Pu'er usually costs more than that. So maybe at the time I sourced this tea, I should have realized that the appearance was very unique. There was a great story. The tea was tasting great, actually, already at that time, and the price was commensurate and appropriate, and I should have stocked more of this tea. I don't know. But now I would come to a question for all of you, and if you're still there watching, please keep on watching another little bit and help me understanding this. I would like to see your answers in the comments below. And the question to you now is, are you happy, if you are of course an nannuoshan customer, with the balance we have in the shop between exploitation and exploration, restocking old teas and new teas? And when I speak about restocking, I mean everything, right? Exactly restocking the same batch, but also restocking classics, like restocking a Longing, restocking a Sencha, and so on. Like, are you happy with that balance, or you would like to see even more exploration or even more effort in maintaining over and over again same products? Like, would you like us to source intentionally teas that we not only like, but that we know we can buy over and over again? So there are only three options. Yeah. Please help me replying in the comments below. Either you are happy or you want more exploration. Not sure how to do that. Actually, I think I explore a lot, but let's say that you want more exploration, which mean pretty much like you don't want to see any tea for a second time, or you want more exploitation. You want more repetition. You want to go back on the nannuoshan shop, and if you like the tea, you just want to find it. You don't want to see sold out. All right. Thanks a lot for helping me in this query. And I will certainly do an effort to take it into consideration in the upcoming sourcing. Bye, guys.